Not too sure it was worth it, you know. Except it fucking was. It looks amazing. I'm having to record this on my phone because the time-lapse that you probably saw that was filmed on my G80 has wrecked the battery completely, so I'm having to resort to the only thing that's left, which is my phone, because my GoPro is dead as a donut as well. Wasn't altogether smooth. Don't buy cheap paint. If I can take anything from this experience at all, it's don't buy cheap paint, because we had a bit of an issue with the red, as I explained last time. Bit of a reaction, I think, with the etch primer. The white that I bought, mixed as per their instructions with 40% thinners, was just like water. It was absolutely rubbish. So that was a load of money wasted. So we were quite disheartened about that. We had to do a bit of rectification work on the base layers. Had to run in, as we did with the red, really, and flat out some runs. And we made the decision, or rather, I made the decision, much to Mikhail's delight, I think, that we would mix it on the Motofix PPG scheme, which is probably going to bankrupt me, to be fair, because it's expensive paint, fully insurance approved, really, really bloody good paint. Obviously, you need to pay for that. But I figured we weren't going to use this crap paint because it was just going on absolutely awfully. Just running off left, right and centre, and if you were putting it on light enough so it didn't run, it was just patchy as hell. So it was just one of those scenarios. We've come this far. I've put a shed load of effort into this thing. I'm not going to let it be ruined by cheap ass paint, and I didn't really want to postpone for any longer to try and get some other half decent stuff. So you know what, we just mixed it on the PPG, which in the long run is going to be well worth it, I think, because it's awesome paint and it's designed to stand the test of time. So it should look super awesome for many years to come, as long as I don't put it in the bin. Aside from that, once we started on the PPG stuff, Mikhail was absolutely buzzing. Obviously, he's used this paint since day one, so he knows exactly how to use it, how to lay it on, how many coats, the heaviness, exactly what's going on, really. So he was far happier using this, and I'm really, really, really happy that it kind of came to that. Not happy for my wallet, but happy because it made Mikhail a lot more comfortable, and he is super, super happy with how it came out, which makes me, I'm happy with how it came out, but to see Mikhail absolutely buzzing makes it all the better, all the better. So yeah, aside from that little false start, really, with the paint, it went really, really smoothly, actually. Took a lot of wet on wet primer. I think we both probably underestimated exactly how much surface area there was, even though it's a tiny little car. Obviously, you've got all the engine bay, all the door shuts, bit around the back panel as well, and obviously all the other bits and pieces. So it took a lot of material, but all went on really, really nice and smoothly. And the lacquer on the car is unbelievably good for straight out of the booth job. It does need polishing, a little bit peely, but it's always going to be. But considering, obviously, Mikhail not fully qualified at all, and I've done the repairs and the bulk of the prep work, it is properly clean. It doesn't need much polishing at all. So I've said it many, many times, but I'm going to say it again. Mikhail, you are a bloody legend. Really, 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 really well done on this, mate. You've done a superb job. Absolutely superb. Probably about time I show you it, to be fair, rather than me banging on. You've obviously seen it on the time lapses. I'm not sure how much justice that does it. So with any luck, my phone camera is going to have to do it justice, because that's all I've got. So let's have a look. Look at the state of that thing. Is that not one of the best things you've ever seen? I could probably stay here for quite some time, just walking around and dribbling, but I probably need to go home at some point. We've obviously refitted the doors and the wings, or kind of placed them on. and a little bit of the sail panel as well, just to get an idea of how it's going to look once it's all fully fitted. Probably best that I talk about the colour a little bit, because quite clearly it is no longer red. It is in fact Audi Ibis White, to go with the Audi Misano red inside, so it's all pretty matchy. I decided fairly early on that I wanted to paint it white for a couple of reasons really. A, well, who doesn't love an old white Honda? It's just match made in heaven. White is also quite easy to paint, so I understand, so I wanted to give Mikhail something he could certainly work with. He didn't want to go in with a crazy multi-stage pearl that was going to make him want to kill himself. But probably the main reason is it's quite forgiving. I've obviously done all the repair work, as I've obviously said many times. I wasn't overly confident that the repairs were going to be any good. I think they're half decent, to be fair, but there were points where I thought these are definitely going to show. So white, really, really forgiving for that kind of thing. Doesn't show too much reflection, so it hides a multitude of sins really. So that was the main reason I wanted to go in with the white. It did actually take me quite a while to settle on the Ibis. I hadn't really looked in any great detail before about how different the whites are that you can get on different cars. You see a white car generally and you go, that's a white car. But when you look at it, there are a multitude of whites. And I remember looking in car parks and there's like a BMW Alpine white sat next to a Ford Frozen white, for instance, and the BMW is yellow. It looks bloody awful, actually, some older Alpine whites. And Frozen white on a Ford is just like a sheet of A4. It doesn't show anything. They look super, super clean, when they are clean, obviously, but they just hide all of the swoops and the definition and the curves of the car. The Ibis is somewhere in the middle, actually. It's a little bit creamy without being yellow, really. It's got, well, having mixed it on the PPG now, I can tell you pretty much exactly what it's got. It's got vast majority is white, a little bit of yellow in there, a little bit of blue in there, and actually a little bit of red in there as well. Just kind of traces of all of them, which means it's not your typical Ford sheet of A4, which means it does give off a little bit of a reflection. It does show the lines and the definition, and really it's pretty much bob on how you want your white to be, which it ought to be, because it took me bloody ages to settle on this colour. So the next vlogs are unfortunately going to be back in my garage, so we're going to be filming about here because there's no fucking space. With any luck, I should be picking up the engine a bit quick, because the guy I've bought it off of is disappearing off to America very soon, so really I want to grab it before he does. So that'll make a good vlog, and obviously everything else is just going to be throwing the thing back together. I'm fairly hopeful that it's going to go back together with reasonable ease and reasonable pace, but I wouldn't say I'm 100% on that. It is going to take a bit of time, but with any luck, the forthcoming vlogs will be of more interest than my introduction vlog, let's put it that way. With any luck, I shall be turning some spanners and making some stuff and doing many more interesting things rather than just walking around pointing at things and babbling on about rubbish. So I think it's about time we turn this round and say bye-bye. In conclusion, just need to say another huge, massive, ridiculous, gargantuan thank you to Mikhail and to Motofix for helping make this thing happen. Really, really cannot thank you enough. Whilst I am here, if you do fancy doing similar things to Mikhail, probably not working on ropey old Dow soles, but working on cars that are less ropey and doing accident repair, Motofix are always taking on apprentices. So if you're looking for a career change, or you've got older children that are looking for a bit of a career, come and do a bit of work experience or apply for an apprenticeship. I'll put the details in the video description, and I'm sure Motofix will be more than happy to accept you and welcome you onto the team. Apart from that, I will see you in the garage doing more stuff on this. Thanks so much for watching. Hope it hasn't been too hideously boring. If it has been, let me know how, and I'll try and jazz things up a little bit. But see you soon. Thank you very much. Adios.